Hi, I'm Brett Savaglio from the VJ, and today we're going to take a look at the top tips and tricks for using iMovie app when editing video on your mobile device. These features and shortcuts are going to help you work faster and really get the most out of the software. Before we get started, I want to remind you to subscribe to our channel for more tutorials on professional video production. Now, I'm going to turn it over to our lead edit instructor, Kelly Corzan.
So top tip number one, and really these are shortcuts as much as they are tips, but the top tip for number one is using 3D Touch. So if your device has 3D Touch, there's a neat feature that allows you to tap and hold on the icon to access your iMovie projects without even opening iMovie. So you tap and hold and you'll get this menu, and you'll see that you can select an existing project or you can create a new one right from here without even going into the application. So if you do tap on a previously created project, you'll be taken right to it, right to the editing interface, and you save a little bit of time. So again, with that 3D Touch, you're just going to tap, hold, get the menu, choose the project, and boom, you're right into the iMovie timeline. Top tip number two is moving your playhead to the beginning or end of the timeline. So to snap that playhead to the beginning or timeline, normally, you have to scroll to the beginning or end, and that's fine. You can quickly swipe left or swipe right, but there's even a quicker way to get to the beginning or end of your timeline. So to do this, you'll tap and hold. To get to the beginning, you'll tap and hold at the far left, tap and hold, and it jumps. Tap and hold on the far right, and it jumps to the end. So that's a great thing if you just need to quickly get to the beginning. Tap, hold in that gray space before the first clip, it'll jump there, or tap, hold in the gray space after the last clip to jump to the end of the sequence. And our top tip number three, creating an instant freeze. Instant freezes are by default 2 seconds long, so let's take a look at how to do this. It's pretty neat. So move your playhead to where you want the freeze to occur, then tap on the clip to select it, and simply swipe up at the playhead position, and you'll see that the freeze frame icon appear, and again that's by default 2 seconds. So what's happening is it'll play in real time till it gets to that point, then it'll freeze on that frame for 2 seconds and then resume playing to the end of the clip. Now, as I said, it's 2 seconds by default, but you can adjust that length if you tap on the clip to select it and then tap on the speed icon down at the bottom. So that opens up an editor that allows you to adjust the length of that freeze, and you do that by just pinching in or out. So pinching in makes that longer, and pinching out makes it, or pinching in makes it smaller. And when you're done, or to get rid of it completely rather, just tap the reset there. You see freeze, add, and reset down on the bottom. If you tap reset, that brings everything back to normal. Okay. Yep, there it is, reset. That's normal. Top tip number four is importing DSLR footage. This used to be an issue because DSLR footage, of course, they're very large files, but between the increased processor speed with iPhones, and as you know, iMovie can handle and edit 4K video as well as 1080p HD. So you actually can use your DSLR footage should you decide to shoot with that. But you're just going to need a couple of Apple adapters to get that in to your iOS device. So let's take a look at what some of those are. So there's our DSLR, this really pretty images. So the first Apple adapter you can get is this one, and it's a lightning adapter on one end that goes into your iOS device, and on the other end is a card reader. So you can take the card out of your DSLR camera and then pop it in here and then connect it to your iOS device and import your footage. That's one. If you want to just go straight from your camera without removing the card, you can get this attachment, which is a lightning cable to a USB female. And then you just hook up your USB cable to your camera and plug the other end into this adapter, and it does the same thing as the other one did with the card, so you can get that footage into your iOS device, which is great. Although I have to say, with the iPhone X out, it shoots such beautiful video. I think that you'll probably be happier just using the iPhone without going to this trouble. But should you want to do that, you can from your DSLR. There you go. All right, top tip number 5, making edits within the Photos app. So if you have iMovie already installed on your iOS device, and you want to make a pretty simple edit using only one video clip from your Photos library, you can do that. It gives you some of the functionality. But again, you know, you're only working with one clip. So this would be useful if you just have one clip you want to quickly make some changes on, put a title on, maybe throw some music on, but it doesn't edit clips together. So let's see how this works. So you tap to open your Photos library, and tap on the video clip you want to adjust. And then you're going to want to tap on these settings icons down at the bottom. And when you do, you're going to see another set of icons, and you'll want to tap on this little circle with the 3 dots in it. And that takes you here. Now, if you know you have iMovie installed on your iOS device, but you don't see it when you tap the 3 dots, go ahead and tap where it reads More, the 3 dots there, and that takes you in here, and you'll see a toggle button for iMovie if it's loaded. And you just need to take and toggle that button on, and then tap Done, and now there it is available to you. So if you just tap on that, you only have to do this once. You tap on that, and you're going to get some extra goodies here that aren't normally available in your iPhotos app. So you get the option to obviously trim the clip. Now that actually is available in the app, and you get your filters, but you also get a few titles. And of course you get access to your music, and the rights-free music, of course, is the theme music. And if you're putting anything on display for public view, you're going to want to use the rights-free theme music, and so you choose it from there. So if for some reason you only want to deal with one clip, that's a very quick way using iMovie through your iPhotos app to use some of those features and then just get it done really quickly. Also, you can mute the audio. That's another feature you can use should you want to. And then tap Done. And then, of course, share it, export it, whatever you want. All right, top tip number 6, iMovie for iOS, using a keyboard. A lot of people don't actually realize that you can hook up a keyboard let's go back a little bit. You can hook up a keyboard to your iOS device wirelessly through Bluetooth, or if you want to hook it up wired, you're going to need that USB adapter that we saw earlier with the DSLR camera, because wireless keyboards have a USB connector, and so it would be that lightning cable that goes into your iPhone on one end, on the other end is a female to allow you to plug in that USB. So if you want to use a wired mouse, you can do it that way. I recommend Bluetooth just because it just is less clutter and easier to use, but you can use your keyboard. Now the beauty of using your keyboard is that you can take advantage of keyboard shortcuts just the way you can if you're using iMovie on your desktop. So this is really great. So if you hold the Command key down with your keyboard connected, a shortcut window will open that shows you what all the keyboard shortcuts are, and you can kind of swipe through this. So there's more than just what you're seeing here. You can swipe through to see what they are. You don't choose them from here. This is just a list to show you what they are. And so some simple ones, if you press the C key on your keyboard, it'll select the clip at the playhead location. So again, this just kind of saves you tapping, and it really can, over the course of, say, a day of editing, really save you a lot of time by using a keyboard to just use these shortcuts. Pressing C selects the clip that's at the playhead position. Another good shortcut is to press Command B to split a clip at the playhead location. So again, move that playhead to where you want to make the split, press Command B on your keyboard, and there's your split. Another good one is you can press the right and left arrow keys on the keyboard that moves forward one frame or backward one frame at a time for very precise editing. Now this one's particularly useful on the keyboard because to use your finger to scroll one frame forward and backward is kind of hard to do. So to do it on your keyboard, it's just that right and left arrow key. All right. Top tip number 7, splitting a clip. So the keyboard shortcut is Command B for blade. Normally you have to select the clip, go in, and in the menu below say split clip. So to save yourself some time, you can just swipe down. So move your playhead to where you want to make the split and swipe down at the playhead position and boom, there's your split. Top tip number 8, reframing your video clip. So say this shot is a little wider than I want. Now your clip has to obviously already have been added to your iMovie timeline from your browser. So once you've added it to your timeline, you can, I want to zoom in a little bit on this shot, and to do that I'll select the clip and then I'll tap on this magnifying glass icon here in the top right corner, and that allows me to pinch to zoom in and also tap and reframe it and move it to a different spot. So once you've done that and you tap done there in the top left corner, that'll save your changes. So you can actually zoom in more closely to a shot. The one thing you have to be aware of is whenever you zoom in, the lower quality your original file is, the more you'll see pixelation. So if you've shot 4K or 1080p, you'll be good to zoom in pretty far before you start to see the picture break up and look either pixelated or too blurry. So you'll want to watch that as you're zooming in and replacing. But if you're shooting 1080p HD, which almost all the iPhones do, and 4K, which the later ones do, you'll certainly be fine. This is a neat way to kind of have a second chance, if you will, to reframe a shot. And then just press done to save those changes. Top tip number 9 is rotating a clip. Now, if you've accidentally shot your footage in portrait mode instead of landscape, so if you were holding your phone vertically instead of horizontally as you were shooting and got a great shot, you might think, oh, that's it, I screwed up. But you actually do get a second chance because you can rotate a clip once it's been added to your timeline. So to do this, again, you add it to your timeline, select it by tapping on it, and then you take your forefinger and thumb on the image and simply kind of at the same time turn it. And you'll keep using your thumb and forefinger to turn it to the direction until you get to the orientation there that you want. So again, this has to happen once it's added to your timeline, but you just select it, use your thumb and forefinger and kind of swipe. You can swipe either direction until you get to the proper orientation. So that's very useful if you have accidentally done something. Top tip number 10, our last one, skimming your clips quickly. So this is another one that you don't see everywhere, and every little minute counts, particularly if you're under deadlines. So to skim your clip quickly in your browser, you'll tap and hold on the clip, and then just while you're holding your finger down, drag it through the image. And you'll see the thumbnail will update as you drag through, which is really great. So instead of having to, say, tap on the clip and then tap play and watch it in real time, this is a great way to sort of just scroll through quickly by tapping and holding and then sliding your finger through the clip. So that is our last shortcut.
Thanks, Kelly. If you enjoyed that, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more professional video production tutorials. And also, try out a 10-day free trial to thevj.com so you can learn everything you need to know about professional video production.